Hello everybody, happy Mother's Day. Today is May the 12th, day 20 since I started chronicling my fast. And today I think about my mom, an incredibly resilient woman and a real inspiration to everyone in our family. She raised 4 sisters who are also now incredible mothers and 2 sons. And Mom, if you're ever seeing this or watching this, I love you so much. Thank you for everything. Thank you for always letting me know that no matter what I've done, tomorrow is always a new day and showing me grace. So I love you and thank you for that. So today is the second day of my refeed. I have 18 full days of fasting. And yesterday it felt a little bit urgent. After a few days of not feeling that great, not feeling quite right, I decided that I should refeed. So I did, but it wasn't really a planned refeed. And so I documented a little bit of that, and I'll cut that in right here. Hi guys, so it's day 20. I've been feeling a little peckish, a little bit weird. Thinking maybe I'm a little low on my supplements or something. But anyway, I decided to refeed. I'm eating some sardines right now with some kimchi. I'm not that happy about refeeding, but look at this. I find sardines, if you look it up, has a tremendous amount of health properties. They call it a superfood. And I don't generally want to eat it all the time, but when I'm breaking a fast, my palate really enjoys it. So you can see what I'm picking away at here. I made this radish kimchi myself. Very, very nice. Garlicky, salty. This is a shiitake mushroom. We'll see what tomorrow brings. What I'm gonna do, I think I'll start with a bulletproof coffee. Now I have some frozen cooked chicken, some bacon, some zucchini noodles. I have bone broth, some butter, bacon grease, and I added a little bit of kimchi juice. I also had an egg. Beautiful piece of bacon and some zoodles. I basically refed like this before. Bone broth, bacon, zucchini, chicken, butter, and I even added some bacon fat. The problem with refeeding is opening up the floodgates. When you deny that feeling of hunger for so long, when you feel like you know you need to eat, and it gets to the point where You almost can't help yourself. And it's different. When you fasted for 19 days, it's a different feeling. It's your body saying, I need to eat. That's not an excuse for me to eat. I'm telling you, that's the way I feel. It's like, it's time to eat. But you open up the door, okay, we're going to eat. And then a lot of people, when they refeed, they eat too much. I've already eaten too much because just the sardines and the kimchi was enough. Then I had a couple small slices of cheddar cheese. Then I had a little piece of feta cheese. And now I'm having this bone broth. I should pace myself. I should wait a little while and see how I feel. But I've refed enough times that I know pretty much what to expect. And I'm still making very good healthy choices, and it's certainly keto. So that's good. It's very much enjoyed. It's very nice. And I made that radish kimchi, and the one jar I had, I took all the radish out and I still had a bunch of juice. So I kept the juice in a little glass milk jar, and I use it in my bone broth as a flavoring. And it adds another dimension, which is very lovely. A little bit spicy, but certainly flavorful. You must be able to see the difference in my face from my Easter Sunday video when I launched season 2. Someone left a comment on my YouTube. Dude, why the hell is he using chopsticks or something? As if it's like stupid to eat with chopsticks. I like using chopsticks. When I first tried to use them, it was impossible. Now for some things I prefer them. Man, that's good. Well, as you can see, that refeed went fairly well. I started really good with some sardines, which I considered a superfood. I used my homemade kimchi, which I'm very proud of and which is a beautiful pairing. And I went on to the bone broth, which was really good. And then after that, I needed to go to the grocery store because I was planning ahead for today. And I went and bought some eggs, and I boiled some eggs, and I bought a roast, which is in the crock pot and waiting for me to get home so I can eat some roast beef. But I bought some chocolate. It's funny, I looked at the chocolate, I usually do, and it was like an incredibly superb price, like an unusually low price, and I actually bought two bars, big bars, and I also bought a big bag of salted peanuts. And I decided I was going to go home and watch some Netflix and eat some peanuts and some chocolate, which I did. And I ate about a third of the bar of chocolate and maybe a couple of handfuls of peanuts, and I just felt so full. So I thought, well, that's great. I've kind of satisfied that desire, that urge, and that's taken care of. I kind of fed my body and fed my cravings, but over the next 2 or 3 hours, I ate some more peanuts and I finished off that bar of chocolate. Refeeding is a very, very important thing to do after a long fast. And for me, 19 days isn't that long, but it's long. And I want to caution everybody to take some special care if you have no experience in refeeding, but I do, and I have. And in most cases, I have not refed the way I would advise, and I have not refed in a textbook way at all. I like it here better. See, my hair reappears. And so I fed my body, I fed my cravings, because I still have some goals that I want to achieve as far as weight loss is concerned. And I wanted to just kind of get that desire out of the way. It really wasn't a craving. I talked about hunger, cravings, and desire before. It was just a desire. I just wanted to have some of that. And you know, I damn well deserved it. So it's not a good idea, perhaps. However, if it gets it out of the way for a while, maybe it's not a bad idea. It's kind of like whatever works for you. So today there was a little bit of chocolate left, and I gave it to the kid that lives in the house. I didn't want to eat it. I'm back on a carnivore protocol at the moment. So this morning I had a bulletproof coffee, I had some cheddar cheese, and I had a boiled egg. And then later I had another bulletproof coffee. And I find that the fat, the consumption of the fat, takes away the hunger. So if you're going to do carnivore, you need to get the fat and the protein ratio properly. And if you're looking at it instinctively, you would say, if I'm gaining weight, especially sometimes when you start carnivore, you start gaining weight and you think, I need to drop my caloric intake, and the best way to do that is drop the fat, because if you're putting like butter and whipped cream and coconut oil in your coffee, that's a lot of fat. That coffee can be, 300 some odd calories. But when I did it before, I went against my instinct and I actually took a second bulletproof coffee, which I did again today. And I did that before I went on this walk because I was starting to feel a little bit of hunger. And I have absolutely no more hunger. But I do have that roast at home, so I'm going to go and enjoy some of that. When I was eating carnivore like that before I started this diet, I was losing weight. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was commemorating my anniversary of the beginning of my fast last year, I would have probably just continued because it seemed to be going quite interesting. I had never done it before. I was totally satiated and I was losing weight. So right now I'm going to return back to that and see how that goes. Well, when I stopped my fast yesterday, I was 197 pounds. And 197 pounds is really quite comfortable for me. By all intents and purposes, I could stay there forever, quite healthily, quite happily. I look good, I feel good. I want to get into the 180s, so I thought I would fast down to 182. But if I'm eating and I get down to 188 or so, I'd be very happy. Anyway, in spite of my refeeding yesterday, which is definitely not textbook, I only gained 4 pounds. And there is a fasted weight and a fed weight, and 4 pounds is not a big deal. And another really, really surprising thing that I found, in spite of eating a big bar of chocolate, I peed on my keto stick and I'm still on the high end of ketosis. So yesterday after refeeding, I visited the bathroom about 4 times before I went to sleep. And it was fairly urgent each time. And it was mostly just very watery. But it was very cathartic and cleansing as far as I'm concerned, and not uncomfortable. So that was another interesting anecdote to note on the refeeding. And another really interesting thing to tell you about is that I slept so amazingly well. I slept so soundly. I slept like a log. I went to bed maybe around 11:30, 12 o'clock, midnight, and I woke up at 7:30, and I didn't wake up the whole time. And one of the reasons is because I took sugar, and so my body was holding on to the water, so I didn't have to wake up and go pee. But during this fast, I was not sleeping that great. I had some 3.5-hour nights, and I was just forcing myself to lay and to rest. And it felt so good to have such a deep and long sleep that I didn't want it to end. And this being Sunday morning, I turned over and I went back to sleep, and I woke up around noon. And it was just so good to have that sleep. And I woke up, I still wasn't hungry because I had fed, until I went to bed last night. So that was just another really interesting thing. So in total, I lost 20.2 pounds. So overall, it was a very successful fast. But in the last 7 to 10 days, and I know I haven't reported since last Sunday, I was really stalling in weight loss, which was very discouraging for me because I really enjoy seeing the progress on the scale every morning. And at one point, maybe about 3 days before I ended the fast, the previous 7 days, I had only lost 2.2 pounds in 7 days. And I was really starting to question whether this was the best way forward for me, which is really causing some soul searching because I'm a water fasting evangelist. I really believe in it, and I think it does so much for us, not just weight loss, but it's really effective for weight loss. So I had determined before I decided to refeed that perhaps I would do a week of fat bombs in the morning, which is, for me, a bulletproof coffee, which I make with coconut oil, butter, and heavy whipped cream with a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of cocoa powder. Whip that up to a frothy, nourishing drink. And I had suspected that I was going to lose more weight by giving my body something to tell it that it wasn't starving. Which is possible, but I never actually experienced that. But I would say to you that if you ever want to water fast, without getting into the definitions of what a pure water fast is and all of that, if you want to have an effective protocol, you may consider doing something like that. It's basically a really low calorie OMAD. It's like 300 calories a day of just fat, and your body would be in pure fat burning mode. While my weight loss was stalling, the only thing that I had done differently was I was incorporating some exercise, and it made me wonder if the exercise itself was stalling my weight loss. And I won't know for sure, but I have a very strong suspicion. And when I stopped exercising, which even wasn't a lot, my weight loss has returned. And the weight loss that I had the day before I broke my fast, I had a 1.6 pound loss. Of course, the day before I had a 0.4 pound gain. I was in such heavy ketosis that I could eat 300 milligrams of chocolate yesterday and still be in ketosis today. So I'm very pleased about that. I didn't really want to spend a couple days struggling to get back into fat burning mode, or what we call fat adapted. So anyway, that's my story. I want to just wrap this up really quickly, but I wanted to put something out today, being Mother's Day, and the fact that I started season 2 on Easter and ended on Mother's Day is really kind of special. So I wish everybody well, and I hope you're all having a great day. And as always, love yourself, stay safe, and be awesome. And I'm going home to eat some roast. I'm so full. And two 300 milligram, 300 milligram.